Good day. Can you guys hear me well? Today has been an exceptionally hot day here in Spain. Okay, let's wait a couple minutes and we can get started. Make sure you have water with you. Today, we have such a interesting topic, the topic of prosperity. It's also the topic almost everybody resists. We don't want to work with this topic or think about this topic. One reason because it's a very stressful topic, and another because a lot of people are very ashamed to talk about money and about prosperity and to think about everything that comes with money and prosperity. Who has this? Do you feel like there's stress or shame around this topic for you? I'll make a little chat so we can write. Shame, yeah, for sure. It's very interesting because I'm not really sure why and how this feeling of shame comes up around money. I mean, I do understand where it comes from, but at the same time, it's like, why do I understand this? Why do I understand that there's so much shame and taboo around prosperity and money? It's one of the most beautiful topics, and this is a topic that the Master of Kundalini Yoga talked about and taught hundreds, maybe thousands of classes on. And he very much emphasized that if you're going to be practicing Kundalini Yoga, if you're in this practice and teachings, one of the aspects that you cannot neglect at all is prosperity. We have to work with prosperity because if there is a lack in prosperity, there's problems with prosperity, impacts everything else as well. And today we will talk about that. How does it impact everything in our life and why is it so important to work with? And then we will do a practice for expansion so you can really feel what it how we can create prosperity with ease, with joy, and with less shame and stress around it. Does that sound good? Okay. All right. We have a small group today. So we will do a little special thing at the end of the class. What'll be really great is to close your eyes again, and I will turn off the video so it's much, much easier to feel the practice, feel the words, and then feel where it resonates with you. Because when the camera is on and we're looking, our mind gets very distracted very quickly. It's for everyone. This is not just for beginners or something. Even the most advanced practitioners need to close their eyes to be able to feel and to be able to relax and to feel where it resonates. When the eyes are open, it's very, very hard to do that. So I will turn off the video. And what we can do is, if you want me to be more specific, and talk about how we can resolve your issues, you can write down what is the stress in with prosperity for you. Is it work, not earning enough, not being able to grow your own business, money comes in very slow? And you can write down in the chat where I wrote, we have started. You can write down there where you feel the stress and problem with prosperity. And then throughout the class, if you write it now, throughout the class, I will address it one by one. And I will begin to also talk about the subconscious blocks around those problems. Okay, I see Adishaktis. Not being able to complete tasks, no steady income, fear of taking others' money. Okay, this is very good. All of these problems you're writing, this is very good because we will really talk about these topics and begin to work with it. I'm waiting for the few more people I see that are typing, and then we can start. Prosperity being money, money issues, job issues. Hmm. It's better to write what is the issue. And if you grew up thinking money was bad and evil, um, this belief is still in the subconscious. Even if you have been able to grow up, it still means that there's a lot of room to grow and expand for you, Mira. You can really grow and expand prosperity even more because if you did grow up feeling something was bad, then it's still there, just very deeply hidden in the subconscious. Not being able to be financially stable. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. You don't have to write this down now for all of you who wants to work with prosperity and money and income. But think right now about what is the amount you want to earn. You don't have to write it down. If you want, you can, but think about how much it is you want to be earning on a monthly basis. What is it that you're looking from your business or from the company you work for? And now we just think about what is the amount that we feel. As you think about this amount you want to have, and now I'll give you a very special task. So be very still, close your eyes. We're going to feel how this blocks you. Okay? Close your eyes, relax your body, be very still. Think about the exact amount, not 5 to 10,000, exact amount on how much you want to earn. And when you have the amount clear and you've decided this is the amount I want to earn, or this is what I want to do, now say it out loud, this number, and then go back to being still, keep your eyes closed, and feel where your body tenses up when you say this amount. Example, 10,000 euros. And where do you feel this tension? Don't analyze with your mind. Whatever your thoughts are saying ignore it. Only feel the body. Only feel in the body how this number makes you feel. Did your chest become more tense? Did your head become more tense? Did it become harder to breathe? You started to feel anxious. Your throat started to clog up. Your mind started to race and it's like, it's impossible. It's so hard. I can't do this. It's so tiring. I'll never be able to make it. Feel what's happening in your body. Okay. And now you can write down where you felt it in your body. What became more tense? Did you notice it? Did you feel your body became more tense? By the way, it tensed up at least 10 times the amount. Once you guys said the number and you decided on this number, your body became very tense and heavy. Breath became restricted. Okay, good. You guys are feeling yourself, feeling this pressure. What happened when you guys said it? Should I share what happened to your body and your subconscious? The moment you decided on this amount and you begin to very clearly say, this is what I wanted, your entire subconscious immediately triggered. And your entire body, not just one or two parts, but the entire body became tense and heavy. And this is why I wanted to very specifically work with women, because we have so many blocks when it comes to prosperity. And it impacts everything else, and everything else that's also unhealthy or imbalance in our body also impacts prosperity. But we have a very cool ability when we work with any aspect of our life through the highest yoga. We can bring everything else as well into balance. And this is one of my specialties as well, is where I can work with one topic with my client, but then the other aspects in their life becomes also more balanced and healthier and easier. And this is the way my teacher taught me, not just to work with prosperity, but when she had me work with prosperity, I was also healing my depression, my anxieties, my traumas. And with prosperity, it's a very special topic because it gives light it shines a light to where we hold a lot of our fears and tension and our beliefs of self. A lot of people, I have a lot of clients in the past who would come to me and say, I've been working on self-love and on self-acceptance and strengthening my aura, but I have a big problem with prosperity. And immediately I realized that even though they've been working on this topic of self-love and self-acceptance or strengthening their aura, they did not understand where their traumas were. And this is why yesterday I was talking about why we never select our own meditations, because we can never see truly where our blocks are. What is our subconscious blocks? We can never perceive it. It is the biggest lie of the mind if you think you can see your own blocks and your own subconscious patterns. We cannot. This is why in the tradition of Kundalini Yoga, we've always had a teacher, and we need a teacher, even though we become a teacher ourselves. This is why I always work with my teacher. She selects all my meditation. She shows me what blocks I have at this time, how my subconscious is triggering me at this time, how it's impacting and influencing me at this time, what needs to be healed now. And I never thought I would never be able to see my blocks, because we understand that, yes, I have anxiety, yes, I have these fears, and yes, I think this way about myself and about life. But we cannot understand how that influences every organ in our body. True? Can you feel literally how it impacts every organ, how it makes you feel and think at every second, and how it influences every reaction, from the way we sit, the way we move our fingers, the way we blink, the way we breathe, the way we perceive the world as well. It's impossible to do it, and we cannot do it longer as well than a few seconds at a time. And if we really learn this, then we can do it a few minutes at a time. But at the same time, we cannot do it 24/7. It's impossible to be able to feel at all times what is happening 24/7 with every cell, with every organ, the way our diaphragm is reacting at this time, and how we are constantly influenced by 1,000 million different cells and different things happening in our body. It's very hard to feel it. And this is one of the cool things about the highest level Kundalini Yoga, is that your teacher can feel precisely what is happening to you now, how to work with you, how to heal you, what meditation will work for you at this time. And this way we can begin to work with the process of prosperity. This feeling that each one of you got when we began to think about the number we wanted and then we said it out loud, the main tendency we have is that we feel that money and prosperity is very bad, and it's a very heavy topic, because we have a tendency to limit ourselves and to create standards for our prosperity based on everything else that's going on around us. And I'll share my own story, because when I began to teach Kundalini Yoga, after I was certified, at first I didn't want to teach it. Then I began to learn the highest level of Kundalini Yoga, and then I decided I will start to teach this because it had such a profound change in my life. I came out of depression, my anxiety became much more manageable, and I just started to have more energy throughout the day. I wasn't staying holed up in my room for weeks on end. And so I noticed what a great change had come out of my life when I started to practice the highest level of Kundalini Yoga. And so I decided to go and study a whole teacher training, again, repeat a full teacher training, but this time with my teacher, Dasha Kabalova, at the highest level. And immediately I decided that I wanted to teach what I had learned, and I created a full project. And she told me what to work with, what aspects I needed to heal at this time, and then to just start with any of my ideas. So one of my first ideas, by the way, what a strange idea, because I chose a very difficult way to create prosperity, which was, my idea was I would start to teach yoga in China. And I knew a lot of Chinese friends. I had a lot of Chinese friends, and I had met a lot of Chinese yoga students, but at the same time, most of them didn't speak English and I didn't speak Chinese. So I decided I would get a couple of friends and I would ask them to translate for me and help me advertise by translating all of the posts or whatever I was sharing. And then we would hold a meditation club. This was my first ever personal project with Prosperity. And it was my own thing. And it was teaching yoga. It was teaching yoga to students in China and using translators. So it was like I decided to do a very complicated version of it. But in 9 days, I immediately got clients. I got 28 clients. My goal was 20 clients at the time, which was a very far-fetched goal because I had never had a single client before this. This is my first project, and I never had any yoga clients before this. I had 0 reviews because I had never had clients before. But I decided to set this ambition of 20 people, and I would lead them throughout the month and walk with them through special meditations and through the Hayat's yoga. And immediately in 9 days, and I believe I was 19 at the time, I collected 28 people for a full month. And I was very happy. I was so proud of myself. And it was a massive achievement to be able to go from 0 and in 9 days of self-advertising and not doing it at all professionally, by the way, just writing who I am and what I will do in this meditation club. And it's online, and I had to use a special channel to hold the classes because Zoom can be very difficult to work for many Chinese students that live in China. So through a bunch of different complications, I set it up and we began, and it was a great club and it was such a great start to it. But immediately as I began to succeed, my parents began to tell me, this is just a one-time thing. This is, in general, it's very, very hard. And right now, a lot of people have lost their jobs because COVID was, COVID had just taken off at that time, and just everyone was on quarantine, and it was just a horrible situation everywhere in the world. So they began to put in my mind that, this is just a one-time thing. It's very hard to make money. You won't be able to do this again. And people will not want to pay for your classes because you're new to the teaching space and you don't really have enough experience. So immediately they started to put doubts in my mind, even though I had succeeded. I had done something incredible. And in my mind, I started to feel this pressure, and I started to think about, wow, it's true. And I started to look at all the news, how people are very, very sick. Lots of people have lost their job. They're unable to go to their jobs, so they can't make money. And I started to see all the situations of how it was very horrible for many people. Immediately, I started to feel how it's so hard to make money. And the next month, from 28, it went down to 20 or 16 people. I can't remember exactly now. So it was almost half gone. And then the fear started to set in. Look at that. Wow, it is really hard. It's really difficult, and I need to make it cheaper. I need to make it more affordable for people. So the next month, the third month, I made it cheaper and easier with more classes. And guess what happened? I got 10 people. Even though every single one of them had written reviews, and they all said they felt really great, they felt much better, they felt much lighter, and they could really see the changes in their life, in their sleep, and their health. But it became 10 people, even though the classes were 20 minutes twice a week. So it became easier, it became cheaper, it became shorter. So it's more accessible, easy to do, but I had less people. And I couldn't understand why was this happening. So I went to my teacher and I told her what was happening. And then immediately she said, "This is horrible. What are you charging?" And I said I was charging, I think around that time, and it must have been 30 euros for the full month, 20, 30 euros. And then she said, "This is horrible. You are giving away." It's like you go, imagine right now you have gold and diamond or rubies, something extremely valuable on hand. And you go up to random people and you say, "I'm giving this away. Take it." Will anybody take it? No, because why? Even though they see it's gold, even though they see it's rubies and diamonds, they will not believe this is real. Or they will take it and they will discard it somehow or another. Because they don't see the value in it. Why would you give away something so valuable for free, for cheap? And if you yourself don't value what you do, what you're giving, then how will anyone else? And this is what my teacher was telling me in the consultation. It's like, do you not see the value in this? So why did you make it cheaper? So I explained to her the situation because, people are losing their jobs. And she said, "Nope, this is horrible because you started to play the game and started to create the standards and view the world through people's neuroses and their fears and their blocks, not by what they can grow out of, what they can heal and overcome." And this is why you should never make it cheaper. You need to understand your value so that people can come and get out of their bullshit as well, of their troubles. Because when you make it cheap, nobody will come to you. And so I struggled with this over the next 6 or 7 months. Whenever I would do it cheap, I never got anyone. And so I thought maybe I need to start teaching private classes. I'll teach private classes and I will do the first class for free because this is the advice everyone was giving me at the time. Do it for free and then clients will come to you. Except for my partner and for my teacher, everyone else was saying do it for free. And then they were saying you need to charge. You cannot do it for free. So I decided, because I was so afraid as well to charge money, to talk about money, I was terrified to even write that my full month of club with, I think 8 or 12 classes was 30 euros. I was like, wow, this is really shameful. And when people would ask me how much is it, I felt really ashamed to talk and to write the amount and to discuss the money and to say you can make the payment here, and I was terrified to even write that this is non-refundable. I felt so much shame and fear around money, so I started to advertise my private classes, the first class for free. And in 1 year of advertising free first class, I got 0 private clients. And then I got tired of it because I felt there was so much I wanted to teach and I wanted to really be able to help people. And I just wanted to have even one client and then be able to change their life. And this was the best. My goal was so clear. Just help one client and I would feel like this was my teaching and this was my calling and that's it. I needed just one client. And immediately I put the price for 25 euros for my first private class. And this was six years ago. My first private class, 25 euros. And I put it on this website in Singapore called Carousel, which is essentially eBay. It's just eBay, but just a different version in Singapore. So I put it on this and then I wrote down, I'm teaching private classes. We can work on this and this and this topic. You can sign up here or write to me on WhatsApp. And within 1 week, I had someone reach out to me and book a private class. And she came to me with also a very difficult request, which was she wanted to quit smoking. And she had struggled with it for years and never been able to quit smoking. But then we did the first class and she felt so good and so much relief that immediately she booked 10 more classes. And I was in complete shock. I couldn't believe it because here I was for 1 year trying to advertise something for free I'm giving away gold, I'm giving away diamonds for free, and nobody is coming, and I couldn't understand it. I was so lost, so frustrated with it. And immediately when I increased and put a price, I started to get a client. And then a couple weeks later, I got another private client. And she, after the first class as well, signed up for 10 more classes immediately. And then one of the things they said to me really hit me. One of the second client, the second private client, she said, yes, I've been looking at your posts and everything you write and talk about for the last few months. And when you showed the price, I immediately signed up. And I realized that here, when it's free, they don't see any value in it. And this is the number one thing right now we want to do. Today we'll have a bit of a more practical class. Write down what is your main source of income. What is it that you want to do that will bring in money? And write down the amount. You can write it down for yourself if you don't want to write it down for everyone to see. But you can write it down now, quickly, the amount you want to be earning. And per client, let's say you take any example, I'll just take my own. You want to teach a class. How much is this class? How much is this session? You want to sell a product. How much do you want to sell it for? And then now, whatever amount you just wrote, you need to add at least 10% additionally that you will charge. 10 to 20%. You can increase it by. Whatever amount you put, you add another 10% to it. Now, over the next few days, if you already have your own business, you can even do this right after class. I want you to talk about this product, this service, and say that this is the price at the increase of 10 and 20%. And you'll find at least write a few things about the service or product you're trying to sell, not just that I have this product. Write it. If you have already a business, something that you can do and sell, or clients you can already sell, then write about this and write the new price, and you'll see more people will become more interested. I have found over the years, I've worked with a lot of people who have come to me. Either they can't grow their business at all, or they want to grow what they already have at the moment. They want to increase their income. And it's very, very interesting because each one of us has a certain amount in our subconscious that we allow ourselves to earn. And today I'll talk about that because it's very, very interesting. And if we can heal this, we can very easily break free from our prosperity blocks. For example, my limit, I could not earn at all subconsciously. I could not get any clients if I was doing anything below 25 euros per class. Even if the class was 10 minutes, it had to be at least 25 euros. Because this was the number that resonated most with my clients and with what I was trying to deliver at this time. When I began to practice and learn more prosperity and work on healing my prosperity blocks, in a matter of a few months, it went up to 50 euros per class. And over time, it grew and grew and grew. And I found that whenever I tried to sell anything under this amount, I would never be able to make money. It was very, very hard. I don't know why, and I couldn't do it. And I went to my teacher, and she showed me that each of us has a level. Most of us start out at a very low number of what we can earn, what we feel we are deserving of, or that we can allow into our lives. Example, I will go step by step. First is the amount we earn overall in the month. If you want, you can write this down if you have a notebook, or you can open notes on your phone. And right now, we'll do this task. Write down how much you earn on a monthly basis. If there's not a set amount, then take the average. Take the average amount that you earn every month and write down what is the amount. Okay, when you're done, please write done in the chat so then I can give the second part. Because we're going to be very meticulous today, and then you can really open up your prosperity. Okay, done, done, done. If you're doing this task, please write down when you're done. Okay. By the way, it doesn't matter if you work for a company or you work for yourself, because today the task we will do will shine some light on how you can grow your prosperity, whether or not it's at your job or you're self-employed. Okay, it will be applicable for everyone. Okay, now we need to write down what is left over after all of your bills. Okay, so quickly take a minute or less if you can. Write down, you can minus, I pay rent, I pay mortgage for my car. If you have any kind of sessions, your bills, groceries, all your expenses, write it down. You can write it down in your chat. Okay, when you're done again, please write it down. Okay. Now, what is the amount left? You don't have to write it down, but you see what is the amount left over that you can spend or have. And yes, it can be in negative. It can be in negative if there are certain expenses that sometimes get covered by something else, or it does go in negative every month. So find out what is the final amount, whether there's an amount left or there's a little something. Okay, right now what we are doing is we are writing down and finding out our prosperity block. What is the amount that is our subconscious block? And this is the only amount we're allowed in our prosperity life. Okay, so the first task we just did is we wrote down the amount we earn on average every month. If there's a set amount, then that. If you work for yourself and it goes up and down, we write down that amount. Then the second task, we minus all of our expenses, and then we see what is left over. If you have done that, please write down done. If you have calculated what is left at the end of the month after, if we're not earning anything now, then don't write anything down and you can just listen. It will still be applicable to you. Okay, everyone has their number. They see the number that is left over. Okay, this is the amount you subconsciously allow yourself to have. This is your prosperity amount. That's it. Whether it's in the negative, if you don't earn anything, this is your subconscious block. To the point that you block yourself so much that you cannot earn money, you cannot start anything, and you don't do anything to earn money. So this is one block. Another block is if the leftover is 100 euros, 1,000 euros, I was just saying euros, you can, in depending on your currency and yours, this is the max amount subconsciously you can allow yourself to have without guilt. If you are in negative every month or on a regular basis, then you have a huge block and lots of shame and guilt with money. For you, money is such a nasty topic that you can't even consider having money or just having break even. So every month you go under and under. By the way, this is my family's block, where every month the more money they earned, the more they went under. They were never able to get out of their debt for years and years and years. And no matter how much money their company earned, and they were earning up to 300,000 euros a month, massive amount, they could never save any money at all. And so for me, this was very interesting to see that. And I began to actually get a lot of clients who were doing this incredible job. They were earning a lot of money because they were lawyers, doctors, marine biologists, fashion designers. And they also had the same issue where every month, one way or another, if not every month, then throughout the year, they would go under. They would lose more money. And so I became very, very interested because I had seen this play out in my family over the years. And I began to see how every month it was never balanced for me. I was always earning, then I wasn't earning. And then I would have a really great idea and it would work out, and then immediately it would die out. And so I went to my teacher and I asked her, and I got a specific consultation on this. And we began to work with the subconscious guilt, subconscious fear, and subconscious shame. And it came from many things. We have first, as well as I talked about day one and day two of this marathon, we have a lot of internal suppression. Because for many years we were not allowed to work or allowed to have our own finances, it was very hard for women as well to start off and grow their prosperity income subconsciously as well. There was just this block because they really didn't have an idea of how they could expand their prosperity and that they should be earning more. So we have this level of suppression. Then we have all of our accumulated childhood fears and stress that sits in us. As I talked about yesterday, if you didn't do yesterday's live stream, it's very important to go back later today or tomorrow and do it, because you need to understand what traumas and blocks you have from early childhood, because they impact prosperity the most in our life. So if we experience a lot of stress in our childhood, if our parents fought a lot, if there were issues with money in our family, this impacted our subconscious, because as children, our brains are like sponges and we absorb everything we hear, we see, we watch, we experience, even though it wasn't directed at us. This is why one of the things psychologists talk about is parents should never shout and fight around their kids, because their kids pick this up and they feel that even though mom and dad are fighting, they feel that they are angry at the child And the child somehow feels responsible for this situation here. And they want to resolve this situation here with their parents fighting and the stress in the house. Do you notice this? Were there a lot of fights in your childhood? Was there a lot of stress and drama in your childhood? This is number one thing to answer. Yes. I don't think almost anyone can say there wasn't any fights. Almost everyone has this. We each one of us has seen fights and drama and problems falling out. And as an early as at an early age, we start to just see and feel that, look at this, money is hard, life is hard. And this is especially true if our parents didn't like their job, they weren't getting paid what they wanted, they were exhausted after work, they were stressed out after work, they got health issues because of work, being overexerted, unhappy, and feeling stuck themselves. And so we ourselves, especially with prosperity, we look at our father. How did he deal with money? And what did he allow in his life? And it's very interesting to start to see and look at how did our father talk about money, deal with money, what kind of jobs did he do? Was he happy, unhappy? What kind of person did it make him after work as well? Did he come home angry, unhappy, wanting to be alone, left alone, not disturbed? Mhm. There's no shame needed about if we are repeating the same patterns as our parents. In fact, it's the most natural thing that happens to us. And we don't see the connection between our prosperity problems now and how it's connected to our early childhood. But for me, it was very interesting because I felt that I had seen so many problems, so many issues, so much stress, and some of the worst things really around prosperity. So for me, I was very terrified to create prosperity and to work with this topic because it felt that when I began to work with prosperity, and this is true for everyone, it triggers all of this stress and fear that we felt in early childhood. Right? This feeling of money is bad. Logically, we can understand that there's nothing wrong with money. It's just a means for something, right? A means to be able to have shelter, to be able to feed ourselves, to be able to learn new things, to be able to travel. It's a mean. It's a means for something. But emotionally, we feel it's very stressful. It's a very disgusting topic. So what we want to do today is we will meditate and we will do a few things. We will change, we can't do it fully because it does take time to heal this and to work it out. But we will start to change our connection, our subconscious connection to money, the way we feel towards money. And we will start to expand our internal state so we don't feel so congested and so heavy when we start to work with money. This is very important. And I found that when I began to work with prosperity, this is when my life began to change because I always felt I didn't really know myself or knew what I wanted from my life. And constantly, there were many things in my life that terrified me. But when I worked with prosperity, I began to heal all of those because it began to bring up those emotions. And then I had personal meditations and I would go for personal healing sessions. And I began to get out of this fear and this feeling. And it became easier and easier for me to recognize and to separate myself from my family line and their prosperity blocks and their prosperity situations. And as I began to do so, a very interesting thing happened in my family where they began to copy everything I was doing with prosperity. It was very funny because up until then, they were all saying that you can't do what you want to do. You can't make money if you're charging very high. It will be impossible to get clients, and it's a very shameful thing, and people are very stressed, so you need to give them everything for free. And these were the standards, the beliefs they grew up with. And so they were always losing money. And when I began to work with this, I began to heal it. It gave me the chance to finally make my wishes come true. One of the wishes was to be able to leave Singapore and to move to Spain and to be able to sustain myself living in Spain without relying fully or at all on my partner. And this was the biggest change in my life, where it gave me the capacity to first, what happened was I had a job. I had multiple jobs in Singapore. And at first, before my yoga business took off, through these practices, I was able to increase my income at my job. So I went from earning, I think it was €4 an hour to €10 an hour. And it gave me more room to be able to do the job without being completely exhausted, being able to be paid for what I was doing properly. And at the same time, I also set very clear timings, which I never was able to do before. I would just work until the end of the day, until my boss didn't need me anymore, and then I would go home. I never got paid overtime before that. I never even thought I needed to ask for this. And then when I did begin to think about, this is really horrible conditions, horrible pay, I need to ask for more, I was terrified. I couldn't do it at all. And then with these practices, I began to heal so much that I was able to change those things at my job. Better timings and more pay. And from there, I became less stressed and less anxious because I was able to sleep better, have more time to myself, more energy to myself. And I thought that this was it. This was my limit of prosperity. But from there, I began to have more ideas, more strength, and my creative energy began to open up. And I started to see different avenues of what I could do to create prosperity and income in my life. And as I began to focus on it, within, I believe, a year, 1 year, it's not a long time at all, very fast, I was able to earn enough and also set up my own business enough to move to Spain. And from there, my prosperity grew more and more and more because I began the process of moving, of working on my prosperity blocks and prosperity goals. We need to have prosperity goals because it allows us to change our self-esteem. It allows us to change our perspective of self. Right now, even if we're earning 10,000, 100,000 euros a month, right? Even if we are very prosperous already, when we work with prosperity in this manner, it gives us more perspective, more room and understanding of ourselves, of what we really want to accomplish in this life. What do we really want to create in this life? And it gives us room to grow. And it's very interesting because I've had clients myself who already earn a lot of money, and how they were able to take this practice and then expand their ongoing business. And more importantly, relieve any lingering or chronic stress they have at this time. And it gives them more room to grow with ease and joy. But more than all of that is that a lot of their health issues go away. A lot of their self-esteem and insecurities leave as well. Because prosperity is not just money. It's not just financial security. It's also fulfilling ourselves, understanding what it is I want from my life. What do I want from myself? Who am I? And you begin to answer many of the mysteries in your life that you never thought you would be able to answer, or you always felt unable to give a clear answer on. And you begin to really unfold who you are, what you want, and the special um, the special ability as women that we have is that when we begin to understand and learn, even at stage one, which could be just earning an additional 100 euros a month, right? Just an additional 5,000 rupees a month, whatever it is. Just the first step as we begin this process, everyone around us, our partner, our children, our friends, they themselves begin to change and also want to work with prosperity. Because with prosperity, the most important thing to understand for many people, because we forget this, even though we may have heard this, but we forget it all of the time, is that prosperity and money and businesses, all of this is learned. We learn it and we grow it, and we grow from it. We grow from every step that we take. We grow. Imagine starting your job. The first day of your job, you're new to it. You don't know anything really. Yes, you know that these are your roles, but you don't really know how you're supposed to go in this role and how does it really work at this company and how should you be communicating to everyone. But then in 1 week, you have a better grasp. In 1 month, you start to understand the system really good. You start to understand how this office works. In 1 year, you pretty much have the thing down. You know everything. Now you can train people. You have a much, much better understanding of everything. And this is the same with prosperity. Whatever wish we have, whatever goal we have, we can start with the easiest step. And from there, we can grow from it. We can learn from it. And then we can go to step 2, step 3, step 4. And this is the way I did it. It's not that automatically overnight my yoga business took off and immediately I was able to figure out all of the marketing things and self-promotion things, and then immediately everything was easy. No, at times I would succeed. It would be very easy. And then at times it wouldn't work out. So I would learn from it. I would study myself, study the way I worked. And from here, I began to learn different ways on how to earn money. And at one point, I think this was just a matter of 4 or 5 years ago, I had 5 part-time jobs. I had 5 part-time jobs, all online, because when I started the simple step of opening a social media, talking about myself, talking about the classes I teach, what I do, it started to attract more and more followers, more people. And then I started to get different offers from multiple yoga studios around the world to teach yoga. They would advertise, they would bring the clients, and I just had to teach. So I started to be able to teach in multiple different yoga studios. And because of what I was doing every day, which was just taking the simple step of writing what I do on a daily basis, how I meditate, and how I work with my clients, I began to also get different businesses who wanted me to advertise their products and their services. And even more cool than that, I had multiple businesses send me their products, and not just any random products. I had certain businesses who send me jewelry with pure gold, pure silver, with ruby. And it was completely shocking to me because at that time as well, I had maybe 700, 800 followers on Instagram. Pretty much nothing. A lot of it was my friends as well. So I had really just the bare minimum of what we can call social media influencer, right? Bare minimum of it. And I was horrible at it. I hated it. I hated using social media, but I took the step anyways, every single day of writing a post, talking about whatever I could on yoga. And then this company reached out to me and said, I would love to create this piece for you personally. And if you like it, you can keep it even if you don't like it. But if you like it, you can share this with your clients. And so I explained to him, I don't really have that many clients. I'm very new to all of this, but I would love it if you still want to go ahead with it. And I ended up having a custom made silver amulet with ruby inside. I mean, it was such an incredible thing. And it had started with just a few simple steps. A few simple steps. If you want, go look at my first posts. I think the first couple years, I had such a block, such a horrible time writing posts and doing live streams. I was terrified to do it. And I hated doing it because I had a massive fear of public speaking, which, it showed up as well in my posts, and I couldn't write properly. I was so terrified to write something and to have someone say anything negative. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die from this fear. But then I began to take step by step, and then it allowed me to get multiple contacts, multiple businesses. And I had this school that I attended, the school that was founded by the master of Kundalini Yoga. They reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to become a caretaker at the school. I didn't want to go and live in India, so I said no. And then they offered me a job to be their social media manager. And so I got another part-time job, and it was exactly the amount I wanted to be earning, which was double or triple, depending on which country, the minimum wage for many countries is triple the amount. And so they paid me a very good price, very easy work. And here I was just doing slowly and meticulously things that would create prosperity in my life. Prosperity seems very daunting, but we can start with very simple steps in our life if you want it. You can have a lot of fear, which I did, and still make money. And you can still create opportunities. Especially if what you're looking for is big goals, big wishes, big dreams. Then it really is really worth it. My big goal, which was to move to Spain, I really thought it would take me, I calculated it, take me at least 15, 20 years. And I would then also need to learn Spanish, find a job in Spain, and I would have to go through this entire process. And I ended up doing it in a matter of 1 year by doing it meticulously, carefully. And as you continue to meditate, as I'm talking about this, about how we have a lot of ideas, a lot of things that we can do, of course, we have many different blocks. As I was saying, I had a lot of fear. I had a fear of public speaking. And as well, it's not that it came to me naturally, how to use social media, how to advertise myself, and how can I grow my business. It didn't come to me naturally. But as I began to practice with my teacher, and I would go for personal consultations, as I began to have specific meditations to heal my body, it would also awaken different parts in my brain and my body that would allow me to think differently, to see the world differently, and to take any idea, no matter how silly or how stressed out or scared I was of these ideas, to take them and to make it a reality. And from there, it started to grow. And I had a psychiatrist from Beverly Hills contact me as well, out of nowhere, completely out of the blue. But of course, she contacted me because she had seen all of the posts, everything I'd been doing for months and months and months. And she loved what I was doing and what I was talking about. So she reached out to me, offered me a job. And from there, we began to collaborate and on a personal project of hers. And it was such an interesting thing because it was exactly as well the topic I wanted to study more. And here I got an opportunity not just to learn it, but to be paid for learning it. It seems incredible, does it not? It seems very like it's a miraculous thing, or, it must be a special thing that's happening, but it's not. Every single prosperity wish that has come true, any goal that has come true in the last 7 years of my life has come through the accumulation of what I do every day, and also healing myself, healing my traumas, my anxieties, and my blocks. And from there, it becomes easier and easier to grow, and especially the number that each one of you wrote. Right now, whatever leftover you have every month, in my upcoming women's workshop, what we're going to do is we're going to increase the subconscious amount. So at least by 1 or 2 months, you can increase the balance by double or by 10 times, depending on what amount it is you're earning. And we're going to work on this in this workshop where we can increase the subconscious amount of what we allow ourselves to have every month. And I found it very interesting to see that over the years, my parents were never able to even leave the negative. And then when they saw the work and the results of working with my teacher, they as well went for a consultation with her. And then for the first time, they were able to not be on the minus, but to have profit and to have very big profit in their life. And so from there, they began to as well allow themselves more and more in their life. And things began to open up. Money in general, we have to think about it and remind ourselves about what good can it do in our life? What good will it do if I start to earn more money or to have a better income? And we can think about it even in small terms. Right now, if I were to have an additional 500 euros every month, what would I do with this amount? Where can I put it? Can I go shopping, finally buy myself this nice dress, finally go on this small trip I've been wanting, finally go on this retreat that I've been wanting? So right now, think about if 500 is too small, think about 1,000 euros. And if 500 is too big, you think about, let's say 200 euros, and then exchange it into your currency. And think about what will change if I start to earn 500 euros more. What good will come out of my life? It will be better if you write it down. What can you do with this additional money? Right now, write down. I'm starting to rhyme already. Write down exactly what can you do with additional 500 euros. If that's too small, make it bigger. 1,000 euros, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. What can I do if I start to earn this additional amount? When you're done, write it down. Write, I am done. But write at least 2 to 4 points minimum of what you can do if you have this additional amount. Okay, everyone, right when you're done, I'm waiting. I will be right back. I need to grab some more water, but I'm waiting for everyone to write. Done. Okay. Now, does it inspire you, this amount? You have to write yes or no. Does it inspire you to have this extra money and to be able to do what you want? Yes, yes. Everyone needs to write down. If you did this task, you need to write down if it inspires you or not. Doesn't matter if you still feel afraid or you still feel like it's bad, but looking at what you could do with this money, does it make you feel good? It's like, yes, that would be incredible. Perfect. This is good. All right. Then let's meditate. Let us meditate and make sure we associate the brain and the subconscious now with this amount that we want to be earning. Can you guys see me well? Okay, go to the bathroom if you need to go. Okay. We will wait 1 minute then, and then we can start. Um, let's see. Okay, come sitting up straight and close your eyes. Let us expand our prosperity borders today. You know what's very interesting is even when you start to earn a lot more, it may be scary to hear, but even when you start to earn two, three, four more times, most of the time, majority of the times, the remaining amount at the end of the day of what we can spend is still the same, even though our income has grown. Because we subconsciously have so much guilt and shame around money that we start to get rid of it. We will get rid of it. You know, some random thing will come up and then we'll give the money away. This thing will come up, we'll give the money away. We will spend it carelessly. And for many people, we don't even see or know at the end of the month where we've spent our money. It's like, where did our money go? Who has this? So I don't know. I earned this much. I got this extra bonus. And then out of nowhere, it's gone. And it's very funny because people who win the lottery, majority of them end up spending all of their money carelessly. I don't know, I don't remember where I saw this and read this, and then I checked on it, and it's true. People who win the lottery, even in the millions of dollars, completely lose it. And just recently, this is the funniest thing. A man in the US, I think in Florida, he won $246 million, some insane amount, a huge amount of money. And the next day he begins to attack someone in the casino randomly or in the hotel and gets arrested. Can you imagine? You earn so much money, like the most amount you can completely be set for your entire life, all of your children's life, all of their children's life for generation, and then you go and get arrested. And I found it so funny to see this because I realized that sometimes we have so much resistance and guilt and shame around money that we, no matter how much money comes into our lives, we will get rid of it without solving any of our issue, without solving any of our issues or properly setting ourselves up. So I found, because in my situation for myself is I had no financial security or savings coming into starting my own business. So I had to start and do everything from zero, from scratch. And I grew my business from there. And then for my parents, I saw that they already had a business and then how that grew and changed with these practices, with changing the psyche and subconscious and healing it. But I find it really funny that even when you make, as they began to grow their business, the more they grew, the more problems they had. And I realized that this was one block I did not want to carry on and repeat as well. because I knew I would repeat it unconsciously. For sure. We will repeat the same stress and problems they had in one way or another. It might not be exact copy situation, but with money, we can look at it in terms of the amount that we can spend at the end of the day. And we can expand it, expand it, expand it, and so that we have more money. And then from there, that's when things start to change. Okay, let's have some water before we start the meditation. Okay, come sitting up straight and close your eyes. And what's really important is after this class, please write a review. We need to write reviews about what is going on, what is happening, because very few people are doing it on tape, and that's not good at all. They need to be inspired, so we will inspire them and show them how powerful it is. Okay, I've got it. Okay, this practice is a little painful, but it's very short. Very, very short. I won't tell you exactly the amount of minutes, but it's very short and very, very healing. So it will open up your blocks today and allow you to expand your prosperity. So if you want, in the next few days, if you do the task and just focus on this amount that you want to earn, you can do it very quickly. It's very powerful practice. All right. We're going to bring all of our fingers together like this, straight and fingers joined. And we're going to bring our elbows to next to our head here. And hands are going to go behind us, and they have to be flat, not leaning back like this, but they are straight back. So if we wanted to carry a jug, it could lay comfortably without the water spilling over. So the hands, fingers are together, elbows come up next to our level of the head, and we're going to lift our neck slightly back, looking towards the ceiling. It should be facing towards the ceiling. And you can relax now so you can watch the breath, because the breath is very important. We're going to make an O of the mouth like this. We're going to open up the jaws. If you do this, it will not open up and release the block. We need to open the mouth as pretty big. And a O shape with the mouth, with the lips. And we breathe long and deep through all of the mouth like this. Very relaxed breath. Like you want to go to sleep and you're yawning. Like this. But keep the shape of the mouth. And then breathe consciously long and deep through all of the mouth. And we come in the position, head lifted back, close your eyes, just that the face needs to be towards the ceiling. Elbows here. And close your eyes and start to breathe long and deep through all of the mouth. Only through all of the mouth. Come into position, timer is on. And don't tense the body, because it will start to hurt, because you have so many blocks and so many imbalances that it will hurt. It doesn't hurt only if you don't have an imbalance. So it will hurt if you have any kind of imbalance in tension. And you need to stay relaxed. Don't tense any of the muscles, even when it hurts. And be now still. Don't move the spine. Keep it still. Breathe long and deep through all the mouth. Focus on the breath. Your problem is whenever you feel any pain or stress, you give up, especially when it's physical, and then you don't use your breath to give you strength. Now you need to focus on your breath and very consciously, like your life depends on it. Breathe, breathe long and deep through all the mouth. You know, nobody is going to open up our prosperity blocks. Nobody can change our prosperity karma. This is one thing we have to do fully by ourselves. Thank God, though, there is something to heal it and to change this karma and to give us the room to grow. And right now, we have little time left to open up those blocks and give yourself the space to change and heal. Ten more seconds. Breathe, relax, breathe, relax. Don't tense the body. Okay, inhale deep through the nose and hold the breath, hold the posture. Hold, hold, hold. And exhale, relax. Relax the hands down. Close your eyes and feel the body. Relax, keep your eyes closed. Your energy is opening up now. We need to relax so it can move and open up without tension. Okay, how do you feel? Over the last 3 days, we have been really opening up the energy in the brain, the body, and balancing the nervous system and strengthening it. And now we have done another powerful practice. Okay, what's very important for everyone here, and especially if anyone's going through this recording of the prosperity one, the day 3 here, is every month you need to set a goal, and it should be a little challenging, of this is what I want to do, or this is what I want to buy. It has to be a money goal specifically. You must have something you want to buy, something you want to partake in. And every month, this is the amount that you begin to do any project, do anything. You will earn the money to do this specifically. And for me, I began by setting goals to buy dresses and to buy cashmere sweaters. That was always my dream, to be able to, because growing up, my parents never bought me dresses. In fact, they never allowed me to wear dresses. It was a very shameful thing for them. So when I grew up and I began to work with prosperity, this was one of the goals, one of the tasks my teacher gave me, which is to have a very concrete goal. I want to buy this. I want to attend this. How much is it? Okay, write it down. And then start to do anything, everything in your capacity to earn this amount, and go and pay for it and get it. And it can start as simple as a dress or a seminar or a healing session. I know a lot of you want to come for my consultations or healing sessions and it's out of your budget at the moment, but then write it down and then start to do what you can to earn this amount and go for it. It seems like at first, like it's just a dress or it's just a seminar, it's just a consultation, a healing session or workshop. But then it begins to grow. It gives you the ability then to do it on a much bigger scale and buy your dream car, be able to send your kids to private school, international school, be able to save up enough money that if forever they don't want to ever work, you have the money to support them. It's an incredible goal. If you have that as a goal as a mother, that's a good one. And especially if you're a mother, you have all of the motivation to do it. It's much easier, especially with prosperity, it's much easier to think about someone you love and wanting to do these goals, for these prosperity goals for them, than it is for ourselves. We think it's very selfish to think about, oh, I want to go for a healing session, I want to buy this dress. You feel so selfish and you're like, oh, I don't really need it. So you ignore it and then prosperity dies and your prosperity doesn't grow. But then you think about, oh, I would love to be able to buy my children this. I would love to be able to send them this. This was the biggest growth for my parents. Because for themselves, they were fine with 2,000 euros to pay for all the bills, rent, whatever. They were fine with it. That was good enough for them. But then when they realized they wanted to send me and my younger brother to the school that was founded by the master of Luna Yoga, it was per year 50,000 US dollars for both of us. They could not afford that. They were not even earning that. Even after 10 years, they would not be able to have that money. But they were so motivated to send us there. And they had this goal, this focus so much. and they made it happen. And they made it happen in 4 months. And this was the same as well with my teacher. She shared this story because she was not always a self-made millionaire, and she was not always wealthy. She used to earn 2 to 3,000 euros every month, and that was very good because she was born and for majority of her life lived in Russia, and this was already like 10 times the amount of many people's income in Russia. So she was very set up for everything. And then she wanted to send her son, my partner, Vladimir, to the school that was also funded by the Master of Kundalini Yoga, and she couldn't afford it. But then when she realized that she wanted to be able to do this for him, she pushed past all of her blocks, her limitations, and in 1 or 2 years, she became a self-made millionaire and was able to send her son to the school. And it was such an incredible thing. So if for you thinking about buying a dress is too terrifying, it's not enough to push you out of your fears, then think about someone you love. I am very much motivated to earn money, to do multiple things, to be able to learn more Satnam sign and the highest level of Kundalini Yoga. My trainings every month, a single consultation with my teacher costs 1,000 euros. So when I sign up for a consultation, when I sign up for classes with her, it's a very big deal. It's 1,000 euros. But I do it because I know what it does for me and how much it opens up my life. But it's also not a small amount for me. I know it's still a big amount to pay 1,000 euros for a consultation for her to select my meditations, but I see the worth in it, and I see that this is something I want to pay for. This is what I am motivated by. I'm motivated to earn money, to be able to learn Sun sign, and to be able to become a better healer, become a better teacher. And usually it's around 1,000 to 3,000 euros a month I put into it. Over the last 5 years, I've spent over 50,000 euros into my own teacher trainings and healing and classes. I did not have a single euro, by the way, before this to be able to pay for that. But the more I did, and my motivation was so much to heal and to work with people, to be able to learn the highest level of Kundalini Yoga, and it pushed past my fears. So it made me really grow. So it's very important to have a goal, concrete goal, monthly at least, if not weekly. And then say the focus and whatever you need, use whatever motivation you need. Sometimes we can even use our fears, our negative situations to get out of it. For one, I was very fed up of having to live with my family. So that also motivated me to push past everything and to grow my business. I was like, I need to get out of here. So whatever your motivation is, use it, focus on it, focus on your goal, and then begin. But you must have concrete goals, not just I want to earn money. I want to earn money. So next day somebody offers you a job for $10 and you're, oh, there you go, I've done it, I've earned money. Has to be very concrete, has to be a little bit out of your comfort zone. So if you can earn 100 euros, 1,000 euros easily, add 20-30% to that. And then do that goal, that wish. And you can do it any way you like, any plan, anything. But it's very important. If you want to work with prosperity, you don't want to be dependent on anyone. And another very special thing about prosperity is that when we begin to do these tasks about how we can earn money here and there, it gives us a lot of opportunities to do anything. If any situation comes up, an emergency situation, now we've already overcome so many of our fears and blocks around steps we need to take, actions we need to take to make money, that it will allow us to quickly resolve this situation. When my teacher's mother was dying, she couldn't afford to pay those hospital bills. They were very expensive. And not just expensive, but they were years worth of how much she was earning. But because she had overcome so many of her prosperity fears and blocks, she knew what she could take. She doubled down and she was able to earn the money to pay for her mother's hospital's bill, take care of her, and give her the best support before she passed away. We don't need to bring ourselves into such a situation where it has to be a life or death situation and then I will work with prosperity. That's a horrible way to wait, then I will work with prosperity. No, now we work on it. Today, set a goal, set a wish, and then begin to work towards it. Whatever can you do? There are thousands of things you can do to make money. Post something on eBay, whatever the versions of eBay we have in all of the countries we have. I had clients who wanted to also leave their jobs and they were like, I love what you're doing. I will advertise your classes and your consultations and you give me a percentage. And very quickly they were able to get a lot of clients, a lot of friends, and they earned the money themselves. And at the same time, they came to my classes for free and they were very happy. And they ended up being very successful at this as well and became a promoter for other teachers as well in China. You can do millions of things to create prosperity in your life. But today I gave you the tools just to adjust the brain a little, adjust your mind a little, give you some room to push out of your comfort zone and then grow. So it will be very, very good. If you do this task, I bet within 1 month, all of you will text me and share that you got a result. For sure, you will get a result. Because here it's not just I'm meditating, waiting for change to happen. You're very actively taking steps to make it happen. It will happen. So set a goal, set a wish, and then begin to do it. And in 2.5 weeks, I will be holding a women's workshop. And I highly recommend you come for it because there we will do 1,000 times more powerful than this entire process of this marathon. Because I'll be teaching my teacher's methodology that works on subconscious blocks, health issues, and how to bring everything into balance as a woman. So if the workshop is out of your budget, set it as your goal. You have 3 weeks to do whatever it is, to come and join and heal and change your life. It's not a scary thing. I mean, it is a scary thing, but it's not an impossible thing to earn the money. But today, if you start to do it, because we've done this very special practice to release a lot of the fears and the tension built up, if you begin to act today, your prosperity energy will increase over the next couple of weeks, and you'll find it's very easy to do things that normally were very hard for you. And it will create results for you. There's 3 days left now for the early bird price on this workshop. If you're interested, write to me. I will send you the link. You can also sign up with a deposit if you want to just book in this price. And in 3 days, the price will go up. But now we have the early bird price. You can sign up and join, and we will work on these topics. And I will give one more special gift for the next 2 days. If you sign up now, I will also include a personal consultation. I will select meditations for you. I will give you personally practices that will help you grow wherever you want. Prosperity, health, relationships, anything. So my gift to you, which is normally separately 250 euros, I will include this workshop and the healing, the consultation. And so you have it all at one price and you can change your life in 1 month completely. If you really want change and healing, whether it's an emotional, physical, health issue, prosperity issue, then this is the way to go. Don't say, I will come when I have the money. You know, when we do that, we can put it off for 30, 40 years. And this was the best thing I ever invested in. Whenever my teacher would have a workshop, whenever the master Sun sign, he would do a class. it was always out of my budget. I could never afford it. I sometimes had to borrow money from my brother or my partner, anyone. I would just borrow money from my family and say, I need to go. And whenever I felt like I didn't want to borrow anymore, I would just do whatever I could, advertise my classes, um, sell different products online, whatever I could to earn the money and then finally go for it. Exactly as it's happening, not putting it off. If you keep putting it off, nothing is going to change. I mean, it's very logical. How can it change? Waiting for things to come to happen? How? How can things change without actual steps, without actually doing something for it? It's impossible. But this is my gift to you, so that it's easier for you to create the changes and the healing that you want, and to be able to grow very fast, very quickly. And it's not just going to be a one-time thing. In the full workshop, you will learn how to create a steady income and create more opportunities with prosperity, easier and bigger, and to just be able to grow it. So it doesn't just come and go, or it's there and then it's not there, but we create a steady and constantly growing flow of income in our life. And it gives us a lot of freedom, a lot of joy as well. And it will heal a lot of your fears, because the process of how I work with my clients to remove their prosperity blocks is we release and heal a lot of the triggers of our fears. So it becomes easier. And a lot of the health issues go away as well. I will send you the link for the prosperity workshop. Okay, for those of you who want to join. And if you sign up fully or even put a deposit in the next 2 days, you will have personal consultation included in the price as well. Thank you guys so much for joining me the entire marathon today, and especially if you've been joining over the last 3 days. I'm very happy to be able to do this for you, and I want to be able to keep doing this more. So please write reviews of how it went, and I highly recommend and I invite you to come join the workshop as well, because it's not just my workshop. It is the workshop that was created by my teacher, who has been healing over 280,000 people by herself. She started her entire school, became a self-made millionaire as a single mother for 2 children. You know, all the things you think, these are the reasons why things can't happen. You know, you're as well growing your business and income in a third world country where the average income is 20,000 rubles. Maybe it's higher now, but a few years ago when I was visiting, it was 20,000 rubles, which is around 200, 300 euros. So the average income there is so little, but she's not only been able to grow herself, but every single client of hers who comes to her for prosperity, including myself, has been able to grow and create their own flow of income. So this workshop that I'm teaching is her entire methodology, step by step, how to guide you, heal you, work through your different blocks, different areas in your life. And then now I'm going to include my personal consultation as a gift for those of you who want to join. Thank you again so much, and I will send the link to anyone who who has asked for the link. Thank you again, and I will see you tomorrow, our last day of the marathon, and the most special topic, the topic of relationships. Very special. So we'll work with that tomorrow. Thank you again. See you tomorrow.